Also, I'm Joseph.
Hey, I'm Jared.
Hello, I'm John.
And that's John. And we're the Thoughtcast.
John, the energy you had on that one was like, I'm actually like three goblins in a trench coat. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm John.
Shoot, I'm John.
Hello, yes, I am John, normal human. Thank you.
And that is our cold open right there.
There it is. Good morning, everybody watching the Thoughtcast today. Maybe it's afternoon, maybe it's night, who knows? It's morning for us. So it's a good morning from the Thoughtcast crew, from our hearts sincerely to yours, whether you're a regular or you've been listening for the last 14, 15 episodes, however long we've been doing this. We want to say hello and Happy New Year. It is the year 2024, Anno Domini. We've made it.
This is our first episode of 2024.
Yep. It sure is.
There it is.
This guy gets it.
I'm on it.
Dude understands how the passage of time works.
Yeah.
We wanted to start the episode start the year on a bit of a light note and just do a little Q&A and sort of introduce ourselves, as we've been doing this for a minute now and haven't really taken a second to slow down and answer questions. So without further ado, actually with some further ado, real quick, this is the ado. We have a Discord that you should join. It's where we hang out all the time. I give people deck advice at 3 a.m. That's mostly what I use the Discord for. We have an Instagram account that we post memes to sometimes.
Super funny.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, that's so cool of you. That's great. If you want to see more of us, there's a bunch of buttons at the bottom. If you just literally go down and click every single one of them, I don't need to tell you what they do. You know what they do. Just go click all of them, and that will tell the Skynet overlords.
You don't even need to know what they do.
No, I don't know what they do.
Just click all of them.
Yeah. What does the little bookmark button do? Couldn't tell you. It probably helps.
I've clicked it.
I've clicked it on our own episodes. Anyway, that's the ado. All of the upkeeping is out of the way, and we can dive in. Also, I'm Joseph.
Hey, I'm Jared.
Hello, I'm John.
And that's John. And we're the Thoughtcast.
John, the energy you had on that one was like, I'm actually like three goblins in a trench coat. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm John.
Shoot, I'm John.
Hello, yes, I am John, normal human. Thank you.
And that is our cold open right there.
There it is. Well, we took some polling on the Discord, the aforementioned Discord, and just got some Q&A. So I figure we just dive into it. And first question, I will say most of these questions come to us from @TheDinosaurMan on our Discord.
Nicely done, Swiss.
Huge shout out to Swiss @TheDinosaurMan. You know, he doesn't lie about that, the Dinosaur Man thing.
Dude, he stays locked.
My boy's got like 6 different dinosaur decks.
Shout
I don't know how.
Swiss.
There's like 20 of them total.
Yeah.
But shout out Swiss and shout out his dinosaurs.
King of the dinos.
True.
Over there.
So the first question is, what was the origins and what started the Thoughtcast? And I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to actually just like introduce ourselves, because I don't think we've ever really done that.
Yeah.
So John, why don't you take us away? Who are you and what is the Thoughtcast to you?
Well, hello, yes, I'm John. We've done this. We've had this conversation a couple times on several episodes. Yeah, but Joseph is my brother, my biological brother, technically.
Shout out, blood.
We just don't. We don't live in the same state anymore. It's just that's how life happens. Sometimes he went on his own thing, and I stayed here. I have been doing. I've been doing stuff with magic. Joseph, it was actually kind of weird. So you're the younger brother to me, but you actually were in magic before I was, if you recall. Very slightly, yeah.
You were still on Pokemon for a second, and I was like, give it a bit. Just give it some time. This is way better.
Yeah. So technically speaking, you've been in the game longer than me per se, but not by much. Like about a month, maybe 2 month or so, give or take. We have been collectively, him and I, we have been doing stuff with Magic for actually this year. We're coming up on our this would be 10. This would be 10 for us. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Wow.
For me, it's way into the like fall, winter of this upcoming year. So it's still getting there. But by Christmas time this year, yeah, this will be my 10th year playing the game.
Wow, dude.
Collectively. Yep.
Still
I remember, yeah. Yeah.
Better at some point.
You're like, crap.
No, you know what? Honestly, sets have improved, play environments have changed. There's been some great new product that has come out from 10 years ago. Do I miss some of the old stuff? Yeah, I do. But I think the health of the game has been a little bit of an incline over the last decade.
Hey,
yeah,
they don't make you vanilla creatures anymore.
It's true. Those just don't exist anymore.
Right.
Which is actually awesome. No point in
play vanilla by choice.
Yes.
Exactly. But yeah, so Magic has obviously been a very huge hobby interest of mine, as abundantly made clear with my backdrop is. But I'm always sitting in front of it as well. I'm also a very avid toys person. That's kind of my other big hobby thing. Especially a lot of Marvel characters is a very big one for me as well. So it's a shared passion between myself and my wife. We do lots of toys and collectibles and pop culture and things of that nature. That's just kind of that's us.
Love it.
So sick, dude.
That's John Kendall.
Yep. And my referential name on the Discord is the Oracle. I do stand by my
Steel trap.
Head knowledge of cards. Yeah. Head knowledge of cards. I'm not a competitive player. I don't play anything sort of like on the competitive scale. Not much anymore anyways. Actual gameplay competitiveness is not my strongest anymore, but my head knowledge of the game. I'm not a judge, but maybe someday thinking about it, possibly.
Hill is a judge, John.
Yeah, my acute knowledge of things of like releases and cards and names and rules and things of that nature. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of my knowledge I have of the game. So,
dude, we would not be able to do what we're doing here without that knowledge.
As the other 2/3 of this podcast,
Jared and I are dumb as hell.
Yeah, like with the amount of things that we would just be like, "What was that? What did that do?"
Bro, the amount of times that I'm the amount of times that I'm the actually guy and I'm wrong about it is embarrassing.
And I just don't know actually, because I know I don't know.
I just go sick.
I'm like sick.
Yes. As far as for the Thoughtcast is concerned, as a matter of fact, I was actually the third wheel late edition. You two were actually planning on doing this yourself, and I was like, "Oh, I would love to help contribute with you guys. What can I do?" Turns out I became the editor. All right, yes. You two,
editor-in-chief.
Editor-in-chief, editor and publisher.
I texted you and was like, "John, do you want to edit this thing that we're doing?" And you're like, "Yeah, I could talk too."
Which is
I can also participate.
It's perfect.
His improvement.
Because that's my problem. Because my technology I own on my side here or whatever, I don't have the greatest computer, but I'm able to what I can work with, I can edit. So while I don't have the capabilities for like recording and streaming and video casting and things of that nature, I can edit, I can publish. I love being creative. These last couple months that we've been able to work on this, this channel we've been working with, the open creativity that I've been able to do as far as video editing has been so much fun. I'm very glad I get to be able to be part of this back again and open up that creativity door.
Those neural pathways. Use that graphic design degree.
Dude, I love that. That's so awesome.
Do you know John's
graphics?
No.
Graphics is my passion.
Graphics is his passion.
What? Bro.
Yeah, I went to college for graphic arts and communications.
Dude, wow, you learn something new every day.
Why he's good at what he does. But
yeah,
you're a killer.
Almost 8 years. Yeah, 8 years in retail later, it's finally going to pay off.
Yeah.
Heck yes, dude.
Nice. Well, that's 1/3, Jared.
Yeah.
Tell me who you are.
Dude, well, as we've lore dropped on this podcast before, I'm 1/3 of the Gruff triplets. And yeah, I got into Magic. I wish I had the recall that you guys have with like how long ago that was.
If you know what set you started with, John will be able to tell you exactly how long it's been.
I know we talked about this before. It's the one where they just introduced the Planeswalkers for the first time.
Lorwyn.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I first started playing. I picked up that Chandra precon, and it was history from there. I initially, kind of similar to John, I was big into Yu-Gi-Oh! Not Pokemon, but a different card game that's also competitive in collecting stuff. So I was already into that kind of hemisphere of trading card game stuff, and dabbled a little bit with Pokemon as well. But then my brother Chase got into Magic, no idea how or why, but he just did. And then you got to have people to play the game with. So the thing about being a triplet is you can pretty much easily talk your brothers into doing things with you. So me and my
Easy
other
play
brother,
group.
It's just a hive mind.
yeah, me and my other brother Heath started playing. Heath started playing elves immediately, which was annoying because they're so powerful, especially back then.
Oh, dude, casual elf. If you're bringing elves to a casual table,
Dude, it was rough.
Yeah, back then, yeah, you're talking about playing around the time with like Lorwyn elves, which is sort of like where the definition of tribal elves comes from. There's a lot of Huntmaster and things of that nature.
Yes, dude. I think it's Blanchwood armor or something.
classic.
The one that's like +1/+1 for every forest you control.
Yeah.
I'm like, back then, I'm like, why does this card exist?
Yeah,
This is
you're
too
not playing
strong.
targeted removal.
I'm playing red. So my targeted removal is a
Blank.
lightning bolt.
Absolutely blank. As soon as something has 5 toughness, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's
dude,
me.
I can't beat you. My Kamal Pit Fighter is a 6/1. So yeah, that's how I got my start. I was pretty hard stuck on Yu-Gi-Oh for a while. Even like I kept playing up through college, and eventually just that game got really degenerate and not very fun anymore. So it was pretty easy for me to just be like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I still love Magic. I'm gonna go in on that. And I will say, shout out to the Command Zone, because if I had not found their like first gameplay episodes, I probably wouldn't be like still playing Magic.
Dude, the amount of just sheer work that Jimmy Wong has done for the game of Magic,
Dude.
should be like recorded.
Yes.
Like it is unbelievable the amount of like time and effort that he has put in to like for people like both of us.
Yeah, because
I need somebody who like
Yeah.
talks to me like I have not been playing this game for 100 years.
bro.
Like,
Yes, I remember because like I didn't sell any of the cards I'd collected throughout my like teenage years, and I had stopped playing like as college. Like college is college. College is a lot of work, so I just was like prioritizing other things. My brothers and I were all prioritizing other things, and I wasn't like super involved with an LGS or anything, so I just didn't have a scene to play with. All that said, hadn't played Magic in a while. Hadn't even really thought about it. The Command Zone just randomly popped up in my YouTube feed one day, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I didn't even know what Commander really was at that point, so that kind of opened that box for me. The rest is history. But outside of Magic and being a triplet, I do a bunch of audio, hence the synths that are all over this room, and you probably
you
can't
guys
hear
can't
it.
hear, but there's a sick low note that's playing in our headphones right
It's
now.
pretty awesome. Yeah, I do audio, do production, music, and I also am a humongous coffee nerd. I've worked in specialty coffee for almost 10 years, so yeah,
Or-
livelihood.
the classic Nashville
everyone-
musician coffee person.
That's how we met, actually, was through coffee.
Yeah.
You were working at a coffee shop that my wife and I were regulars at.
Yes.
And then I ended up working at too.
We had this like random one-off conversation where we both realized that we loved
it was the Spider-Man meme where
Yes.
like, bro, everybody at Stay Golden that day was like, wait, you play Magic?
Yeah, it was the craziest.
There was like four of you guys behind the bar and me that all were like, wait, you play Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So yeah, that's basically my working history of my experience with Magic the Gathering and how I'm here today.
Nice. What was your intro to the Thoughtcast?
Oh, intro to Thoughtcast. You, honestly. We talked about it. We were like,
We did.
what if we did this?
I'm the unifier.
Yeah. And I was like, heck yeah. Because I had already been doing some podcast stuff with some other friends of mine. We don't do that podcast anymore. It was fun while it lasted. RIP, low stakes.
Rip low stakes.
That was really fun. But so I already had all the stuff, and I was like, I can easily make this happen. And he had the brain for the idea. I had all the gear.
Someone's gotta.
Yeah. And there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I am Joseph Rubino. John and I are biological brothers that do not share a last name anymore. We did for about 18 years. I started playing Magic in 2013, as John also alluded to. John and I have a pretty similar origin story with Magic. What's funny is it all started with an NES at a yard sale that we got. That we were like, we need to find somewhere that has games for this, and we just like Googled game store, and then just went to the first one we found, which was called NRG, and we walked in, and we're like,
some 2000s energy, right?
Bro, it was great. So we walked in, and we're like, hey, do you like sell any like NES games? We just like got this NES at a yard sale, and the guy was like, not yet. I can't sell any of that yet, but I do sell card games if you guys want to learn how to play like Pokemon or something. So he like gave us intro decks for Pokemon, and for like probably 2 hours that day we just like sat at that store, and the owner of the shop just like taught us how to play Pokemon.
That is awesome.
Gave us each a pack for free. Like, it was unbelievable, and we became regulars at that shop for Pokemon. I pulled a textured foil Lugia EX in my first pack of any card game I've ever opened.
I don't know how valuable that card is, but it sounds like
It's
that
not,
would just
but
make
it
you stoked.
clapped some cheeks. Let me tell you, that thing. Anytime it would come down, so we played. We played Pokemon for a good couple of months. But like most card stores, the main card game at the store was Magic. So I would see all these guys playing Magic. I would see like the crew there, as well as the owner, and we just kind of hit it off. So it was me first, where they were like, you should learn how to play Magic. I think that you would like this a lot. I expressed a lot of interest in it, and they were like, you should just buy one of I think they were called event decks at the time. This was Gate Crash. So it was a Gruul standard deck that had like, what's the ability where you discard it from hand?
Blood Rush.
Blood Rush. Yes, it was like a Blood Rush deck. So it was just aggro. It had like the shaman that adds some mana. It was very cool. So that was my first like Magic deck. And
you started on Gruul.
I started on Gruul.
You barely play those colors now.
I know.
That's crazy.
I used to be a dirty red player, which we'll actually get to in a bit. That was one of my favorite stories is being a red player.
Oh, heck yeah. Of course they are. Being a red player is awesome.
It's true.
It's awesome.
So
you should try it.
Started playing Magic through that, and just really hit it off. Eventually that shop closed, but there was another one that opened that John still is a regular at. And I started working there. So that was like one of my high school jobs, was like I had to take all of the judge courses. I had to like learn how to play the game really well so that I could teach people how to play the game. I became the guy who gave me an intro deck.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, that was my like Monday, Friday was like working at the card store, pricing out like lots and everything. So I just got like mega into it then. Would also like run tournaments and things. So I was kind of the tournament organizer of the store.
Midnight pre-releases, don't miss that.
I do not. Well, I do miss that actually. I do. Because now I just do like midnight like formula feeds, and I'm like, this could be so much cooler.
You're like, gross. You need to start learning how to play Magic so we can do these.
I need Magic for a 9-week-old. Has anybody written that book? Like how to teach your 9-week-old to use Force of Will properly?
Exile the Blue.
Yeah. So that was like up through high school, and moved when I was 18. I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, which is where Jared and I are currently based.
Hell yeah.
And I sold a lot of my stuff because I had to pay rent. So there was a lot of things that I have sold and regret, but also I get to live here still. So we made it.
That's life, baby.
There was quite a while where I like didn't play. And then when Arena came out was when I really started like picking it back up. And even in recent years, I have gone as far as to like go to Pro Tour qualifiers. I like top 8'd a Pro Tour qualifier in the last couple of years. Won $500.
Wow, dude.
Almost.
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, I think if I didn't get mana screwed in my like top 8 game, I think I could have gone on to win because I was favored in every single matchup in the top 8.
No way.
This was standard a couple of years ago. I guess we're kind of getting into stories. Standard a couple of years ago. I was playing mono blue because I love Autumn Burchett. This was the year after after they won the Pro Tour with mono blue tempo. And I was playing it way too late, and nobody else. It was like 150 people at this tournament. Nobody else was playing it, and everybody like who came over to my matches was like, "What? Like, what's the card? It's a land that gets charge counters, and it destroys everything that has charge counters." Blast Zone. Blast Zone had just been printed, and everyone was like, "Mono Blue's dead." Like, because it's all 1-drops. So you just do like Blast Zone on 1, it destroys everything. So I was playing mono blue into Blast Zones.
Dude, you're a wild.
I know. Top 8'd, and I got mana screwed in my first game in the top 8, but we split the prizes. So I walked home with $500 and a box.
That's awesome.
Of cards. But so I've played semi-professionally. I have judged. I have run tournaments. I've like this game is a very deep part of my like lexicon. And then we met a couple of years ago, I guess. Started hanging out, started playing some Magic, realized that we both have the like I want to make content brain, and like I like doing monetization and trying to build communities and things like that. So it was like
there's nothing more fun than turning all of your hobbies into jobs.
Absolutely. Right.
No, it's actually a blast.
What's great is it doesn't feel like a job.
Yeah.
Like,
this is awesome.
Is like I'm like, oh, I get to do this. This is so sick. So I guess it was probably close to the beginning of the year last year when, so I guess nearly a year ago, I was like, hey, what if we just like tried to make some content or something? And then, so you and I kind of brewed the idea up for the Thoughtcast. AI named our podcast.
I didn't know that. That's really
I put into a chat GPT prompt. I was like, what should I name my Magic podcast? And it came up with Thoughtcast, which is a card. If anybody doesn't know, Thoughtcast, it's also one of my favorite cards. It's just affinity for artifacts, draw 2 cards. It's like all of the things that I love doing. Like I personally have affinity for artifacts.
This man really does.
It's really hard whenever I'm making a new deck to not just make it an artifact deck.
Yeah.
Like as Swiss is the dinosaur man, I'm the artifact man.
He likes shiny little toys.
I love my little trinkets. Yes. Like a crow. So that was really the origins of the Thoughtcast. So I came to you about it. We kind of came up with a bunch of stuff, and I was like, I don't know anything about video editing. I don't know anything about any of this. But when we were kids, John and I used to make stupid little videos together. And I always remember just dying at the way that John would edit and use soundboards and things. And I was like, I bet he's still got something left in the tank there.
Dude, that is so I really love that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, I made that Infinity War Magic thing a couple years ago as well.
Great story. John made you tell it, John.
The video about like what part of that am I saying, right? Because like that was something fun that I just
Mark Rosewater acknowledged that he had seen your video.
Bro,
like on his Drive to Work podcast, he was like, yeah, some guy on Reddit made this like Infinity War Magic video, and I was like, that's my freaking brother made that.
Dude, what?
Yeah, it got pretty popular online for a couple days there, but yeah, that was like I tried sticking with video editing for a good long number of years, even after all of those old childhood days.
All of your videos have like, this has 2,000 views. This has 71,000 views. So I was like, John is going to be an unbelievable editor for this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then you expressed interest in, I didn't think that you were going to want to be a part of the like customer facing side of this. But you did. And I'm so glad that you did. We wouldn't be what it is without you.
Literally, dude, you make this thing awesome. So
here we are.
Well, that's what started the Thoughtcast, and that's an intro on the 3 of us.
Yeah.
So if you guys made it through that, good. I'm going to timestamp this so that you guys can just skip to the next question.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next question is, what has been our favorite moments in a Magic game? I have one straight off the dome. If you guys want me to go first and you want to think about yours,
go for it.
So at the shop that I used to work at, we would play Modern. Was really, really big at the time. Like Modern was like the biggest format in Magic. And I, of course, was playing Burn. I was playing 3-color Burn at the time. It was Naya Burn.
Oh, wow.
That at one point dipped into blue. This was 4-color Burn for a second, only when Treasure Cruise was legal. Because any game that you could cast Treasure Cruise, you just won. So I was playing 3-color Burn. And one of the other guys who was kind of the gym leader at the shop, to use Pokemon terminology, he was playing Blue Moon, which is a deck it's just a control deck that really hinges on Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon and things like that.
Oh, God.
It's a killer deck.
That
but
sounds horrible to play against.
Well, one of the really bad matchups for that deck is Burn. Because like Burn doesn't care about Blood Moon.
Yeah.
So like
right.
you want to slam down a Blood Moon as quick as possible and then lock the other player out of the game. But if you're already playing red and you're playing basics, because I was poor,
you're like, psych, I'm not expensive enough.
I don't care. That Blood Moon does nothing for me.
Blood Moon.
So this was when I felt like the biggest big brain Magic play was this is also a testament to sideboard for your meta. If you're playing any type of constructed non-commander format that has sideboards. So I knew that deck in his sideboard, he was playing 4 Leyline of Sanctity. That's the white one.
What does that do?
It's a Leyline, so it comes in turn 0 and it gives you hexproof.
Oh, wow.
So
that's really bad for a Burn matchup.
Super bad for a Burn matchup. You're right. So in my sideboard, I was playing 4 Niv Magus Elemental.
Oh, shoot.
Which is a hybrid red-blue. It's a 1/2 that says you can exile one of your spells on the stack and give it 2 counters. And it costs 1 mana. So we go into our game 2. It's like the end of the tournament. This was a very low-stakes tournament, but I knew this felt like the scene in Princess Bride where it's like they're swapping the wine glasses around. So I was like, I know he's going to sideboard in 4 Leyline of Sanctity. My out to that is going to be Niv Magus Elemental. So we both basically mulliganed down to like 4 cards in hand to find the things we were looking for. And he was very confused the whole time. So he like turn 0 slaps down 2 Leyline of Sanctities and he goes, "You're never going to get through this."
Dang.
And I go, okay, cool. And I go, turn 1, Mountain Niv Magus Elemental. And I could see the sweat beating on his brow.
That's
so
hilarious.
For the rest of the game, I took all of my lightning bolts and targeted myself with them because I had to target something. And then ate it with the Niv Magus Elemental and eventually like beat him down with like a 12-13 Niv Magus Elemental.
Dude.
And it was my favorite moment in a Magic game that I've ever played.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That was big brain, and that's why Niv Magus Elemental
should have lost that game.
Absolutely, I should have lost that game. Yes, completely should have. It was a horrible matchup for me. Burn won through Leyline of Sanctity via Niv Magus Elemental.
That's so cool.
And it was great. He was digging for his like one of Vapor Snag.
Yeah.
That was in the deck.
You're like, I gotta put this back in his hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, that's my favorite Magic story.
Dude. John, do you have one locked and loaded, or I can go next if you want?
Well, I mean, I guess like I got is like nothing too ingrained specific or whatever, but at least a very highlight moment for me would have just been like this previous year having an undefeated pre-release at March of the Machine. We talked about that at our year-end wrap-up video last time, but carried. I'm a very big pre-release person as well. Apart from Commander, playing at pre-releases is one of my favorite things to do. And generally speaking, like I feel like I've gotten better at them, but generally average, always like average mix all the time, 2/2s, whatever, or like a 1/3. But every once in a while, you get that good enough of a deck build that just like slides you on to victory. And with I mean, it helped that my pulls out of March of the Machine were also pretty good as well. I pretty much solidly got stuck into Rakdos colors because like my promo was a red battle, and I had like the Rankle and Torbrand and a Chandra and another red rare battle. So like all of my other like bombs were all within the same color.
So nice.
Archpriest Shadows, I think it might be called. It has like backup and gives something like Death Touch and Reanimate, whatever that thing. So all of the bombs were in a 2-color pair. So Rankle and Torbrand pretty much carried me that whole pre-release, and we pretty much just played the Rakdos aggro plan with hitting a few battles every once in a while. the amount of times that actually the flip one of Invasion of Mercadia that had the spellcaster that you just like you discard a card to it, makes 2 elementals with haste, and then they have 1/0. Just like that thing carried. That was a nutty thing.
March
I think I lost.
Such a good format.
Yeah, I lost 1 game that night, but still ended up like winning like the matches overall. So it ended up coming into a first
You were
place.
like 8-1 overall,
More or less, yeah.
with games.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're a force of nature.
Yeah, and that resulted in, just because my store isn't as big as far as like actual like constructed play or whatever, so things like their champion promos end up being winning cards for like basically pre-release events and commander events is how my store does them. So that's how I won this Champions promo of Thalion the Gitrog monster that I just posted a deck video about a couple of weeks ago.
I love it.
The deck is awesome. You guys should definitely watch that.
Yes.
I guess I can take this one. I think overall, I'll tell just a short little story. I was thinking about this while we were doing intros, but this kind of fits here. Anyway, back in the day, I was in Boy Scouts, and for some reason, my scout troop just got into playing Magic. Because I think one of the dads who would oftentimes help out and go on the campouts with us just to have an extra set of supervision.
So you didn't burn the forest down?
Like 30, 12-year-olds all going insane.
Yeah.
So instead, he got us all into playing Magic. And that was just like really cool. Because like that was the first time me as a kid was like, oh, an adult is playing this game with me. And they're also having just as much fun as me. Because like that was... My parents are awesome. They did not play games with me and my brothers.
They're also like 60 years older.
My parents are like much older than like that average person my age as far as parents go. So yeah, that just wasn't something they did. So that was like unusual for me, but like really amazing. And it was just cool to see everyone kind of like everyone got into it. And even people that didn't have cards or decks, like we would like let each other borrow stuff. And there was this one winter camp we went to where the like last night, the entire camp, like hundreds of kids, made a Magic tournament. That wasn't supposed to happen.
That sounds
just like
unbelievable.
It was New Year's Eve. We took over the dining hall and we just played Magic for like 8 hours. It was sick.
I want to do that now,
dude. Right? We should have a next year New Year's Eve Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, screw spending time with your families.
Yes, it sucks. Go to your card store, spend time with all those
the
people.
door down.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a great memory for me. I just love that.
Yeah.
It's like things like that make me love this game. The gathering part of this game is really sick.
Hey-o.
Favorite actual moment in a game, though, was probably when I
feel like I know what you're going to say.
Tore off for over 1 million damage in one go.
You hit me in the face for like 1.5 million damage. It wasn't infinite. It was not infinite damage, but it was 1.3 or 1.5 million damage.
Yeah.
That was a special game for me.
Yeah,
I love losing in interesting ways.
It was kind of crazy because that deck was still... I had kind of just put it together.
You still didn't fully understand what it could do.
Which was why everyone at the table was so gracious when they realized what was happening, that we all started like helping me add the numbers.
Bro, the
together.
ambient volume at the table just slowly was doing this as we were like, okay, do the math. Someone get the calculator out right now.
And that doubles that. And it was just like so crazy. And the funny part is like I could only kill one player with that. The way it worked out,
I was like, please shoot me in the face.
And I had to take you out because you were probably going to win if I didn't like take you out.
I didn't even care. I was like, I want to wear this as a badge of honor.
And everyone else was like, I'm scooping. That was so cool that we're just going to play another one.
Yeah.
And so that was like a cool thing for me. I was like, oh, I built this deck completely from scratch and it did the sick thing that I like wanted it to do.
Nice.
And I had no idea it could do over 1 million damage. That was crazy.
It was very fun.
That's not what I was anticipating being possible.
Love the things that you just stumble on in a game.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like a real like, oh, my deck's never done this before, and it feels horrible at the table when everyone's like, okay, dude, like sure, you've never like Kiki Jiki and Restoration Angel before. Like, oh, I didn't know I could do this. But like to actually just like be like staring down the barrel of like 1.5 million damage, I was like, I actually have never seen this before.
Yeah.
Okay. We have some rapid fire questions that we can kind of start wrapping up with. Is there any decks that any of us are excited to build in 2024 or are like staring at?
I can start.
Yeah.
We all had the idea to build a deck that is kind of like us as a deck for a commander, because my name is Jared. Jared Carthalion is a card, so easy peasy. I also do want to build dinos. Sorry, everyone.
Hey,
yeah,
I know a guy.
Yeah. Might hit up Swiss for some dino tips.
Dino tips with Swiss would be a great segment on the show.
Yeah.
Sweet. Dinos and Jared Carthalion.
Yeah.
Both are very cool decks.
Yeah. I'm excited for
Jared
this.
Carthalion is an interesting one.
One more quick little thing. It's not a deck. I just want to get into drafting more on Arena.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, bro. We need to do a joint stream sometime.
Dude, I would love
We should
that.
do that. We should like plan it out to like, we're going to do a draft stream day.
Yes.
All we do is just stream drafts.
Sick.
Anyway,
What about you guys?
John?
I'm not sure. Nothing really in specific right now. I don't have anything like immediately on the lineup as far as like new things I'm going to build. I'm working with the little box of things that I have right now for a very long while, and I've made no secret of this before. Silver border unsets are some of my favorite things. I've sat on this silver border cube for a little while now. That's kind of going to get reshuffled up into a multiple, probably like little mini silver border commander decks, like battle boxy kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna take different colored legendary creatures and build thematic silver border and unset commander decks to kind of have just like as like a party play thing. Like, hey, here's a box of like 10 2-color commanders. Have it. So that's on the goal for this year. Obviously, with Outlaws of Thunder Junction also coming out this year as well, something Wild West is big on my list. I'd love to do some. I don't know what the themes of that set are going to be, but like I don't know if it ends up being deserts or some kind of cowboy related theme or something like that. That'd be great. All the above, yep, deserts, things like that. That's going to be great. And Assassin's Creed is still planned for this year as well. So some kind of build within Ezio, some capacity, right? Because like, we had this discussion already before, right? Assassin's Creed is very important for me as well. So I want to pick up an Ezio and build something like that. A few more budget brews as well. Obviously, we need to do another micro brews episode somewhere along the line. But I want to do a few more really off the wall themed budget brew ones. I've got the first draft together already of Jared. I don't know if I showed it to you. I put my first draft together of a colorless budget brew.
Yes, the wait, what did you call it? Cause like the Great Depression.
Causaless the Great Depression. Yeah, I made a Causalec $25 budget deck.
It's so good. I need to see that in action,
Bro.
I want to.
What?
I want to improve it. Yeah.
I know it's probably too much to get into on this episode, but I really want to know how you made a colorless budget deck.
well, you can go on to the brewery on our Discord page.
Get in there.
Yeah, it's there, but
Nice.
yeah, that's mine.
I kind of at all times have about 6 decks that are half built on my desk. Like, so right now I have like a mono red goblins deck that is like half built. I have an Ivy Gleeful Spell Thief deck that's half built. So I have all of these like half built ones. But something that I want to do more in 2024 is play more CEDH. So I'm really excited. If you've been paying attention on the Discord at all, I've been talking a lot about Winota, Joiner of Forces.
Dude, that card's crazy.
Yes. So I have a lot of the combo pieces together for it. So like it hinges a lot on Kiki Jiki combos. And then so it's like Kiki Jiki combos and then Hate Bears and Stacks pieces. And that's like that speaks to me.
Yeah, dude.
It's also a Boros deck, which I've like somehow become a Boros player.
It's
via this podcast I've become a Boros player.
It's also cool because it does break like the traditional play style. It's not like a blue
you
farm.
don't have to get another Force of Will and
Yes.
like, all of those things. So yes, that is my like next I think deck is finishing out Winota so that I have another option for CEDH that's not Tivit. As much as I love Tivit, like that is my baby.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that. Outside of it, I also want to do more budget brews. I want to start getting real freaky with it. I want to get like because right now my budget brew is it's a spirits deck. It's blue-white spirits. It's basically the Millicent precon that I've like updated just a little bit, which is right around $25, which has been great.
Wow.
But I'd love to have some more options for that. Fleshing out my Wilson Refined Grizzly deck a bit more of the modular system.
Yeah.
It's so fun going in and updating that.
Have you
like,
talked about that in a separate?
I need to do a not super quick deck tech video and just do like a long form deck tech on my Wilson deck because it's one of my like pièces de résistance.
I think it's really, really, really cool.
Sweet.
Because it's like modular.
Yeah.
It's one commander that can be helmed at any point, like backed by a different deck completely.
Yeah, it's green 100% of the time, but it has a different background for each color. So it's either mono green or like green, blue, green, red, green, white, green, black. It is one of my favorite things. It's not very good. It wins games sometimes, but it's more just fun. But I'm really proud of the system that I made to keep the main deck separate from everything else. So maybe I'll do another type of deck like that. It was so fun to build. So that'd be a fun thing to do this year is like really hone in on Wilson or like build another modular deck and kind of see what happens.
That's awesome.
So that's all of our decks we're excited to build. Okay. Really, really fast one is Desert Island Commander deck. John? Don't think about it. Just Desert Island Commander deck.
I don't understand the question.
Oh, sorry. If you were trapped on a desert island and you could only take one commander deck for the rest of your time there on the desert island, what's your one commander deck?
Us and the other people we're definitely playing Commander with on our deserted island,
100%.
right?
Yeah. You're on a desert island of commander players. Somehow only had time to grab one deck. Or like your house is on fire. Your decks are not in a bag for some reason, and you only have time to grab one deck.
Yeah. Oh, easy. Aloro. 100%. Why make the choice? Like, let's make the game go as long as we need to. If we're stuck with one deck, let's make it last.
I love it.
I love that.
Y'all, you two have played against my Aloro deck. It's Jared. You made the joke. You made the joke. John loves Magic so much he wants every game to last 6 hours.
Why wouldn't you?
That's so true.
That's amazing.
It is a great deck, though. That's a great pick.
Mine would probably be, there was a long time that it would have been Marchesa the Black Rose, which is not even a deck that I play anymore. I think she's very outclassed in the current state of Commander. But I think right now it feels cheap to say Tivit because it's like my strongest deck. I do like playing it a ton. I think it has some of the best cards that I own in it. So it probably would be Tivit, but in the interest of some variety, I would say the War Doctor, Boros Blink.
That's sick. Yeah.
That is like I could sit and play that deck
all the time.
1,000 different times and probably have 1,000 different lines of play in it. It's so varied. Like it's so non-linear.
Yeah.
Which I adore.
It's very...
Sometimes it wins via the initiative, and sometimes it wins via discovering with dinosaurs. And like other times it becomes a Voltron deck, and like the War Doctor just gets like 20 time counters on him. Like it does so many different things and does them all like pretty well.
Yeah.
So like I would probably hold on to that deck so that I felt like every game was a little bit different.
That makes sense. I feel like you've embodied that deck.
Bro, I love it so much.
Man, as far as favorites for me, if I had to play one deck forever,
Desert Island.
I think Derevi is definitely my Desert Island. It's very high power right now, but that like obviously I could tone it down if I needed to. But Yeah, I love red. I love mono red unabashedly, but the problem with mono red is you don't get to interact with other people's cards very easily. And there's the reason I like became a more broad player was because I was tired of like someone cast a spell that really messes up my game and I can't do anything about it. I'm just like, well, I have no responses. And that's most of your mono red experience is I have no response.
Yeah.
So
It's 3 damage to the face.
yeah. So I didn't like that. So I actually had Derevi first, but it slowly became this like super powerful non-stacks, but like very almost CDH level thing. And it plays out like it has a Thassa's Oracle win con, but there's also other ways to win with that deck, and it's not linear at all. Like every time I've like won with that deck, it is in a different way. So it would be a deck that I would have fun playing like for the rest of time because it never does the same thing twice.
Love it.
Which is sick.
Nice.
And it's also a toolbox, so I never feel like I'm just like sitting there waiting on my opponents to win while I'm just like I can't do anything.
Yes.
So
Okay. What is the most that you've spent either on an order of Magic cards or on one single card?
I don't remember the order, but probably when I went through and upgraded the mana base for Derevi.
Bro.
Like all in one fell swoop, and not counting. I didn't do like Mana Crypt because I still like $200 for a card still feels bad to me.
Yep.
In a way that I can't get my brain to overcome. So I'm not buying that card. If I pull it in a pack, that's going to be amazing. But
You're still just digging through those LCI packs.
yeah. Anyway, so probably when I ordered all those, it was probably a couple $100. And then as far as like most expensive card I've ever bought in one go was probably Dockside. I bought it when it was like $80. So yeah.
Yeah. I think mine's pretty similar. I think I spent $300 on an order once, but it was all credit. So like I do a lot of like buying and flipping lots, usually for store credit. So like I'll, try to find like $25 to $40 lots on Facebook Marketplace or something, and then try to flip it. And one time it flipped into like $300 of credit. And I like similarly used it to
Oh, I remember that when you bought that.
Yeah. So that's when I bought the pieces for Urza CEDH.
Oh, God.
So at the time it was like build Urza Polymorph CEDH. And I also had a Tivit Vote deck, which was very fun, but everybody hated. And I was just like, hear me out, what if we did both these together? So now my Tivit CEDH deck, the spine of the deck, like the core of it, is an Urza like infinite combo deck. So I think that was like $350 or something for the whole order of that. When I bought my Alliance's Force of Will, I think it was like $90 or $95, and it was right around the same time that I also just bought an Ancient Tomb from Scourge or whatever set it's from. John, what set is Ancient Tomb from?
I think you got it.
I don't actually
remember.
Yeah, I don't actually think it's Scourge, but it's the OG one, and that was about $80 or $85 too. There's something about when it's over $100 that I'm like, I can't justify this. But if it's like 80 or 90, I'm like totally fine.
Yeah, it's the third.
Not
it's that
often,
third
like,
digit, dude.
Yeah,
I
think once a year I probably like buy like an expensive single.
Yeah,
and just like that's kind of my treat to myself.
Yeah. John, what about you? What's your most expensive Magic situation that's ever happened to you?
I mean, nothing too out there really. For a long time, my wife and I were both big booster box buyers. We don't do as much of that anymore, but obviously, like with most every set coming around, we used to just we most of the time it was just purchase one and we share it between the two of us. Very seldom have we each gotten our own box. I think the most of recent times, the one exception one that was Time Spiral Remastered. We each got our own box of that. Glad we did. That was a phenomenal set that paid out well for us, right? Like we were fortunate, like if you remember those sets, they were there was a very rare slim chance to open the time shifted cards in the foils, and some of those were hitting super high price tags.
Yeah.
Of myself, my wife, and our other friend who purchased the box at the same time as well. The boxes pretty much only had one, maybe two foils per box of the time shifted cards. The ones that we opened were some of the more like very sought after ones. So like my foil of Leyline of the Void, my friend's foil of Abrupt Decay,
Heaters.
The other ones that we opened as well. I think my wife had Past in Flames. So like some of those ones, like we opened the popular, the money card ones. Yeah. But
sick.
Yeah, and we got those boxes before they started skyrocketing as well. Like we were able to pick up those boxes on release day at MSRP.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, but we used to be big booster box people. I don't do as much like individual like singles buying or anything like that. It comes down to a partial of I don't trust online shopping, but I tend to just kind of build with what I open more or less, or what I can find in person more or less. But that's not to say I have
stuff too.
I do some trades. Yeah, I do trades every once in a while as well. Yeah. Probably the biggest individuals, I guess, recently was doing trade-ins to purchase the Sliver Swarm Precon from Commander Masters and Fetch Lands to upgrade that. That was one big bulk purchase. And then probably close to like 90-ish or so for the box topper foil of Kali of the Vast for my wife.
Big
from Double Masters. Yeah, it's her strong competitive deck is Kali of the Vast, and I decided as like it may have been birthday or something along those lines. That the Double Masters had the borderless foils, the box topper. It was really great. It was a super cool looking card.
Wow, that's awesome.
Back to mine. This is one of the biggest Magic purchases I've ever made.
Yes.
My Black Lotus tattoo I just got.
So sick.
That was, all things considered, cheap for a Black Lotus.
Yeah,
so,
it's true.
You got it.
Do we have a least favorite commander to play against?
Oh, God. I have one that immediately comes to mind.
Say it.
Toxrill
Yeah.
sucks. Stop playing that card.
Not at anybody.
Not anyone in particular.
Names, in general, Toxrill.
It doesn't just make a horrible dynamic for the entire game every single time it's on the table or anything. So, you know.
Oh gosh. Mine is Joda the Unifier.
Oh God.
It's just, I've never seen it do something casual. Like it's always Joda feels like it fits into the weird spot for there's a category of commander that's my least favorite, which is like too powerful for casual tables, but too casual for like powerful tables.
Mm-hmm.
And Joda fits right in that because it has to be a 5-color deck, which means that it's like inherently kind of casual until you get into like major CEDH. But it just like completely clogs down the game because one person has to like essentially storm off.
Yeah.
And then like if they don't win that turn, it's like, oh, they spent 30 minutes on their turn casting their entire deck and now they're just going to pass.
Which is stupid.
So
that's how I feel about Atraxa as well. Toxrill least favorite in person to play against in Commander. Atraxa is my least favorite thing to encounter on Arena in Historic Brawl.
Sweet.
I just hate those.
None.
It might sound kind of stupid because it's like I do a lot of paper commander at our shop. I don't know how much often you guys get to be able to have like a whole like shop meta for like decks or whatever, but like so I get to play at ours a good bit. Honestly, I really don't like Morrowind the Nurturer. It just plays exactly the same every time. You get 2 counters on Morrowind. Whoops, I'm infinite now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's so boring. Like infinite count. Like I'm the combos guy. I know this. I know I'm the combos guy. But like, just do something more interesting. You know? Oh, I found my Staff of Domination again. Whoops. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Elves are just kind of
necessary.
Yeah.
This was just a
elves are just kind of boring.
We've answered our least favorite commanders. Last one from Swiss was favorite creature type.
Oh, man. Someone else take this first.
John?
You know mine. Joseph.
Certainly slivers.
Yeah, 100%. I'm the sliver guy. I'm in for that.
I think that mine, I don't play a lot of like type matters decks anymore. I used to play a ton of it. I'm trying to think of different, like, it's scarecrows.
That's amazing.
Love scarecrows. They never work, but it's my favorite creature type.
They're
awesome. So weird. And like Reaper King was the first time that I saw a Magic card, and I was like, what the fuck? That was the first time that I did that, and I like tried to make Reaper King work. I really like Mirror as well. This was a combo thing where I was playing a Mirror deck that was helmed by Reaper King and would use at the time Maskwood Nexus was not a card, but it was similar ones to that change all creature types. So I would just choose Scarecrows, and then anytime a Mirror came in, it would just blow up a permanent.
Oh my god,
and it was sick.
That's kind of crazy.
But Scarecrows always just have felt really cool.
Dang.
I'm getting into horrors too. Really like horrors.
Interesting.
Anyway,
I'm not. I also am the same way. I don't like build. I haven't built like a tribal deck intentionally, like ever.
Yeah,
never happened. I just don't enjoy that kind of linear style of play. And they almost always evolve into this, like, I'm just going to put +1/+1 counters on everything. That's how, like, most of those decks work. I hate doing that. I don't want to have to upkeep, like,
it's a
17
wildly
cards.
effective strategy. It just, I agree, it feels very linear. And it's not any, like, dog on it at all. It's just, like, it is. Like, so, I feel like it always is, like, how many of this thing can I get out? And that's just not my favorite style of play.
Yeah. So I think I actually don't have a favorite creature type. Favorite card type, though, instants. I like playing cards in my opponent's turns.
Jared's favorite creature type is instant.
Yeah. Anything with flash, I guess.
Dude.
I'm down.
You could be a spirits man.
Some of those.
Get this boy some wizards.
What?
Get this boy some wizards.
I'll put back together my Grand Arbiter deck and put Brace in there and then just wreck.
Yeah, I love it.
Very cool.
Nice. John, do you have any final questions?
It was one that I came up with on hand. I thought it'd be a cool one to kind of share as well, since this is the kind of era of Magic that we are currently playing in. Product type of a Universes Beyond that you would love to see. You know,
make your own Universes Beyond.
That's an incredible question.
Pick your franchise and pick what kind of product release it would be.
Okay. I would love to see like some FromSoft game as like either a commander deck or a secret lair or something, whether it be like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, like one of those are all like my favorite styles. And I think that Elden Ring would make like an unbelievable commander deck because it feels like one of the bosses. Like this is the boss and this is its arsenal. Yeah. Like that is kind of how it does. And like even part of playing a FromSoft game is like learning the patterns and learning how to do it. It's almost like sparring. Yeah. So like you have to just lose a ton against it. So I think like Commander plays out in a pretty similar way where it's like if you're going up against a deck that you've never played against before, you're probably going to lose to it just because you don't know what it's going to do. Exactly. But like you get better by playing against the same things over and over and like coming up against it and sparring with that person. So you like end up learning what they do and like learning the patterns and lines and everything, and kind of learning how to counter those. And like my favorite moments of like a commander meta are also like it's the same feeling of like playing Elden Ring or playing Dark Souls or Sekiro or one of those games where it's like you kind of get it at some point. So FromSoft is mine.
That's really cool, dude. Oh man, I'm still kicking around two different ideas in my head. John, do you want to take this one first?
Oh yeah, I think I've shared this online before. I know it would be a very good one. 4-set commander deck, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Easy.
Yes, dude.
That is easy. Give your air deck, give your water deck, right? The world, the atmosphere, the lore, the setting, everything about Airbender is one of my favorite cartoons of all time. It has just a phenomenal atmosphere to it. It would fit the theme and the creature typing and the type of abilities that you can throw into a commander deck, things like that. It would be a perfect, maybe not a booster set. I don't think it would have enough to it for a booster set, but I think there would be just enough to do good new cards and reprints themed around each of the 4 nations of the Avatar universe as Commander Precons. 100%.
That makes me want those cards to exist.
Totally.
In my head, I'm like, they could all, like, a mechanic could be like bending.
Yeah.
And it's like whatever color of mana you spend to like bend, like does a thing.
Yeah. Dude, like an Aang
The
deck
return-
that's
the
like
return of
color
leveling.
white, blue, red, green, like to represent all 4 of the elements.
Yeah.
Like Aang Avatar would be so sick.
Oh my, Aang or like it's like a 2-sided like Aang the Last Airbender, and then you have to meet certain conditions, and it flips him over into like Aang the Avatar, who's like a 5 color,
Yes.
and yeah, he starts out as like a white blue, and then he flips into 5.
That's sick.
Should we
Wizards?
for
Are
fun,
you listening?
I think for fun we should design this card
I'm down.
and then have John build a deck for it.
Down.
That would be so fun.
Yes. Jay, do
Maybe-
you have yours?
I have 2. I can't decide which one's better, so I'm just going to say them both.
dude.
I love BioShock.
Oh, dude. Yes.
I also feel like it fits into the universe of New Capenna well.
Oh, yeah.
So if they did like a set release of like more things on like New Capenna, and then followed up with like a BioShock situation,
Yeah.
that would be sick. I love that like neo noir kind of feel. It's not quite sci-fi. It's not quite steampunk. It's like this.
Dude, nothing has compared to the feeling of playing the first BioShock game for the first time.
Yeah.
That is like an unbeatable feeling.
It really, if you guys haven't played BioShock, you just should do it.
It's like $2 on Steam always.
Yeah.
Go play BioShock.
It's a great game.
Skip BioShock 2, play BioShock Infinite. That's the
Ooh.
rule.
Interesting take. I don't know if I agree with you, but
Oh, you
I love
so
all
wrong,
of them.
dude.
I love them all.
BioShock 2 sucks.
Interesting.
Anyway,
Yeah, but I think that game would be really cool. I don't have as much of an idea about it as the
you just want to play a
Avatar.
Big Daddy Commander deck.
Yeah, dude. How sick would that
That'd be
be?
very sick.
Also, I personally think Minecraft would just be a cool, like
Totally would.
they literally could do whatever they want. Like they just introduced like a crafting mechanic with the LCI stuff. So like that could be very easy. It's like you have artifacts or like enchantments that can be like crafted together to make flip them out. You know, the possibilities are literally endless.
Dude, you know what'd be a weirdly good mechanic with that is cumulative upkeep.
Ooh,
Like,
interesting.
but
yeah.
positive cumulative upkeeps to where like as
It's
the
like
game
that
goes
Rate of
on and
Fire
goes
card or
longer.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as the game goes on and longer, you're like accumulating more resources.
Yes.
And like you can use like Aeon counters. Isn't that what it uses? On cumulative upkeep?
Age counters.
Age counters. You could like use those as resources.
Yeah.
To like bring your cumulative upkeeps like back down.
And your legendary creatures would literally be like Steve, Hero Brian, like
I'm gonna play my Steve deck.
Enderman. Like that'd be sick. I think it'd be really cool.
John,
Yeah,
great question.
that was sick, dude. I think we have
That's us.
made it to the end.
That's
of
the Thoughtcast episode.
the first episode of 2024.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Looking forward to many more of these this year.
Yeah.
We're, I guess, was it June or July that we'll hit a year of us doing this?
No way.
June, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, nice. Looking forward to it. Well,
Heck yes.
love you boys, as always. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, we love you too. You're super cool.
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out our Discord. It's cool in there.
You're really selling it.
Yeah, dude. No, it's actually a blast.
kinda cool.
It's kind of cool. No,
really
it's
like our
actually
Discord.
really awesome.
Yeah, good folks there.
Super active community in there. So
Yeah.
get in there.
Sweet. John, parting thoughts?
That's it. Pass priority.
All right. Yep. See you guys.